You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Downton Abbey After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Downton Abbey After Show.
Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for another AfterBuzz TV After Show for Downton Abbey Series 4, Episode 6. I'm your host, John Comerford, and I'm joined in the studio by Tamara, Berg.
Hi, everybody.
Courtney, Stewart.
Hello.
And helming in the booth is Stephen Lemieux. Stephen, thank you very much.
Yay.
Okay, we got a lot to cover. Lots of ground, lots of story. Let's see, where can we start? Well, let's say the Tamworth pig, so Downton's going to live high on the hog in a slightly different way. Jimmy gets fresh with Ivy. Alfred gets another chance in the kitchen, while Edith already has one cooking in the oven. So, where do we start?
I can't believe you didn't go for the tries to pork her.
No, what? What? Wow, we went weird already.
Sure you were going to go for that joke.
No.
Sorry.
No, I laid that on. Okay, all right, let's move on. Wow, I don't know how to segue into Anna and Bates, but that's where I was going to start.
Let's talk about Anna and Bates.
Well,
our beloved Anna
yeah,
and Bates.
I mean, we can see them trying now. Obviously, now that the secret's out, they're trying to find their way back together, and how that's going to happen.
The new normal.
Exactly, because there is no new normal. And for me, I mean, I really liked the scene. I mean, it was a little on the nose with when they were putting the hurricane lamp together and they're lighting everything up, and she's talking about it's all in shadow, and I mean, it's right all there. And even though it was a little on the nose, it still was a great looking shot. I mean,
it was a beautiful shot. It looked like a Vermeer painting.
Yeah, didn't it? Yeah, I thought it was wonderfully well lit and of course, well acted always by Joanna. So, so were you angst-ridden over them because they're still this thing that they have to deal with, and they can't find their way back just yet?
It's that terrible thing about English drama that I did hate about Gosford Park.
Oh,
and that was. And a lot of the English dramas of kind of that time was people never talked about their feelings.
Yes.
And it was a lot of standing near people and gazing and looking longingly. And so I'm glad that they're talking about it, but they're sort of not talking about it, and it bothers me a little bit. But she's trying. Let's make new memories.
Yeah.
So they get the idea of going out to the Netherby Hotel and trying to create something new. I thought it was an interesting conversation between them, though, about how she doesn't want this incident to mark her life. As like there was the before this and the after this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you cannot look at it that way, other than sort of decreasing the power of the incident over you. But that's kind of a modern sensibility. But I love that they're still trying to figure this out. Interesting, though, when the first time we saw Bates, he said, he was brooding, and he says, brooders brood.
I love his comeback line from Penny for Your Thoughts. you
don't want to know, girl.
Pay twice that much not to know my thoughts.
Yeah.
So, and then when he finally says that, where he just wants to murder someone, it's like, okay, how long has he been holding that one?
He said murder.
Yeah, he
not
said,
kill or get rid of or harm or get retribution. Nothing. He said, I want to murder them.
I don't want to right or wrong. I want to kill someone.
I want to murder him.
So, and we actually had one of our listeners was talking about that, how they was gonna. They love your talk of
the unfortunate hunting incident.
Exactly.
Star to be number one says, I think Bates will make Green's murder/hunting accident look like an accident to get away from the news, which is what we've been talking about.
Yes.
And that's it. And we're all kind of looking forward to it. Another one, SF Singer, who we mentioned her, I think, last week. She says, I don't want to see any more acts of violence against women, but we are all rooting for Mr. Bates to correct to exact correct punishment
There you go.
against
That was the phrase.
know who.
Exact correct punishment.
Yes.
correct
But and I don't know that he's interested in that right now. Right now he just wants to.
It's going to be sweet, though, when it happens. It is.
I don't know. I feel like now I'm scared because I feel like Anna is, as much as like she wants there to be something to happen or whatever, I feel like it's going to, even though like, I'd like to believe that it's not going to break her, but I feel like just watching that, especially when they were talking about the shadows and all of that scene, and he is so, he was icy to me, and it's like, even though he's trying to be warm and
scary.
and I feel like that if he does proceed with the hunting accident, it's only going to bring to the forefront the dark of him in a way that Anna won't be able to deal with.
Exactly,
and it just is a further tragedy to the disaster.
Hard to reconcile.
Exactly, because I thought that was great too, because he is saying the right things. He's trying to be there and all that kind of stuff, but all the stuff is burning and boiling inside of him and seething and the idea that they're gonna go out and let's just go out. Let's just put it all behind us. Let's say what?
Well, you do have to try and figure out how to go on, how to move along.
You do, and that's great. It's a valiant effort, but I mean, it's like you said, they aren't talking about it. So rather than kind of deal with it, they'd rather just move on from it. So, but it was a valiant effort, and I like that they went out to Netherby.
Yes,
that was entertaining.
And that was entertaining because just you're dealing with this very difficult matter, and all of a sudden you get this maitre d'.
It was a dirt.
It's like stereotypical romance comedy, snotty maitre d'.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, there's no booking here for you.
Can't find the reservation. Yeah.
No
my God.
Perhaps you both thought you did it.
Yeah, actually, I did.
Just when you didn't know, well, we were looking for somebody else to hate. There you go.
Right.
Just because, and then why are you messing with them?
Exactly. They
don't you know? Hasn't he seen these past episodes?
All the
Does he have a
people.
clue? No, okay. So, can't find the reservation. And Cora, look at her coming to the rescue.
Well, it was so funny how it kind of came up. He says, well, we have a big party for the Granthams.
Yeah.
The Countess of Grantham is here. And they're like, oh, really?
Yeah. But, they didn't really jump on it. I thought they would, for sure, but no, because they have too much dignity to do that. But I would have said, oh, I know him. I'll just say hi to him. No, they didn't do that.
Of course not.
But I like the way she just jumped in there and saved that.
Coming on in. And because, she's an American. They have a different sensibility, I think.
Well, it's funny because every once in a while you think of Cora as a snob. I don't know if you do, but I do.
Yes.
And but she rightfully calls him out as being a snob. He's a maitre d' for crying out loud. Why does he have to be? Why is he snobby with them?
Because he has the power.
He thinks he does, but
correct. He thinks he does.
As soon as he's called out on it. In a jiffy, I think was the term.
Exactly.
In a jiffy.
In a jiffy, I'll get a table ready. Of course. Oh, yes, Lady Grantham. Of course.
Please excuse the hiccup.
The hiccup, yeah.
Oh my
And then Bates holds out his cane.
Yeah.
Almost like in the ultimate indignation. Yes, of course, I take your cane.
But I loved how Cora was kind of reveling in how she was putting him in his place.
Right, and letting them in on the joke.
Yes. Yes.
Let's why make it easier for him? Let's let him squirm.
Yes.
And you should, and saying things like you should have a table here forever.
Yeah.
But I thought the other thing that I thought was great about Cora is that she saved it twice. Not only she saved them by actually getting them a table, but when they were actually getting into it, and Anna was saying, "You still see me as a victim," and it's like, how could you not? And and then he finally professes, "Well, no, I see you as a woman I should have protected. It's my fault."
Right.
Then you see both of them actually feeling the same thing, because obviously Anna has felt it's her fault. She must have done something. She said that, and now she's kept using the word spoiled and things like that. But when they were just about to go crazy at that place, Cora comes in again.
I know.
Well,
smiling.
and we'll talk about it later, but Cora heard them.
Yeah, I know.
She overheard.
Usually they don't hear those things, but she heard it.
Yeah.
So she knows, which is great.
And was even talking about it with Mary later on in the bedroom and trying to get to the bottom of it.
No, Mary's going to become instrumental in this.
I know, but wasn't it funny? Because she overheard them, and of course, who overhears her but Baxter? And then we still have these, people overhearing everything, of course, because how can you not in those places? But they made the specific point to say to her, "I don't want this leaving this room," because they normally don't say anything. It's like,
exactly.
And I guess
They don't
it's
pay attention.
Yeah, and I'm wondering when they decide to do that and when they don't, because sometimes they seem so free with talking about stuff. Although the Dowager on many occasions has said things like, "Let's not discuss it now" when the help is around.
Right.
So I guess maybe in olden the traditional way is not to discuss it.
Right.
And they've gotten a little loose with it.
Yeah,
and
I
they
guess.
realize, oh, wait.
Well, I think
Exactly.
it's a little like, reality shows or when you're mic'd all day for a TV
Yeah.
show
I
and
don't
you're
know
not
what you're
doing
talking
your,
What does that mean?
and you're mic'd and you're just talking to people and things
Yeah.
are happening all day long with your mic on. You completely forget that there are people who can hear every
It
word
just
you're
happened
saying.
the other day. I was on set, and I was talking to somebody who, one of my, I can't say who, but I was coaching. She had an acting gig, and she had her mic on, and I'm giving her notes and helping her out and stuff like that. And I realize I'm saying things that sound person's
and
hearing.
yeah.
Everybody's hearing. Yeah, exactly.
Camera directors
Yeah, exactly.
can hear.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
okay.
it's a similar situation where these people are always in the background of your life. You can just forget they're there. Or you become so comfortable
But
with
not
it,
this
you don't
time, because
realize
she
where
makes a point, and Cora makes a
Yes.
point of telling Baxter, I don't want this leaving this room.
Yeah.
So,
They have a special protection for
and of course,
Anna.
it does.
Yep.
It leaves the room.
Instantly.
Exactly. Goes right to Thomas. He's got a little grapevine going. And again, I thought that was interesting too, because Baxter's not, she doesn't like the spying thing. She's looking at the playing field and she's going, look, this is a decent woman. She's trying to help somebody and she's been good to me. I mean, I don't really want to do any of this.
I was hoping she was going to say in that moment when he asked her, are you pledging allegiance to her? Or
Yeah,
are you
exactly.
pledging allegiance to me? I wanted her to be like, well, you know what? Cora's better than you.
Yeah,
Bye.
that's what I wanted.
But he's obviously got
He's
something
got
on her. They
something
have an
on her.
agreement,
Right.
and she's a very reluctant spy for him, and and she has, it appears anyway, kind of a good heart and is trying to do the right thing, but is stuck in a bad situation.
And that's got to be something pretty good, because I mean, you are the lady to the lady, so to speak. I mean, so you're in a good position. You don't need Thomas
At all.
exactly, but
And he's obviously not very helpful.
no, but
So I don't
he's
know.
obviously got something on her.
Yeah,
Something.
she says, I don't
strong.
like telling tales.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be interesting when this thing comes out.
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
What do you think it's about?
I have
Do you have any idea?
No, not a clue, because they haven't given us any clues. We just know it's something bad.
Something. I'm like, what would
Exactly.
matter? Because it didn't happen at Downton, so
Well,
who
I mean,
cares? Like,
I think it's on the level of the soap incident with Mrs. O'Brien. He's got to have something like that. So because I mean, for me, it feels like the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
She's done something horrible in her past or whatever. But it's something on that level.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like that, but it's on that level.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, they have not given us any clues.
No, not
so
a clue.
Anything
Which
that we
just
say
keeps
would
us
be,
guessing. And in the last three episodes, it's all been just enough of Thomas, nudging her, needling her, and letting her know that, hey, I'm in charge.
I got some power.
Keeping the thumb on her and stuff like that. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll speculate like crazy. It'll be interesting. I wonder what everybody else's theories. We've been getting some great theories on things from feedback from people on YouTube and things like that, or their theories on things. It'll be interesting to find out what you think Thomas has on Baxter. Could be anything. This is wild speculation, so we don't know anything.
I would love to know, and I love when we get the totally far-fetched.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, the crazier the better. I love it.
But I mean, truly, because people do want to tell us what they think, and I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
One of the things that I wanted to mention was I got an email this week from a viewer. Well, we need to clean up about Napier.
Oh, well, we haven't got there yet.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
then?
yeah.
All right, fine. I'll put that down.
That'll come back.
All right, no,
We'll get back
there.
to it.
No, but because I wanted to go to the next storyline for me was the Dowager. But did you ever have something else to say about?
No, I'm with you.
Okay, because I liked this storyline and I wanted to get into it because as much as I liked when the Dowager and Isabel were kind of finding some common ground and some allegiance to each other, but now they're at each other's throat almost, verbally anyway. Yeah, they're just in each other's face. But it starts off with her missing some ivory carving, some fisherman. What is it?
A Nitsuki.
Nitsuki. Okay, great. Yeah, it's very expensive, very important. It's a very
Ivory fisherman carving.
Tiny little thing, and she of course is talking to Spratt, who by the way is not lean.
No, he's not.
About where this could be, and who's been in here, and of course, then she pins it on Peg again and decides. And the next thing we know, we see Peg with Isabel, and he's talking about how he's been let go.
He's been sacked.
Just gets Isabel's ire up like crazy.
Back to
What do you mean?
Oh my God! Yeah, and remember, so they had this little face-off in the beginning about what happened, and would you have me just let him rob me blind and all that stuff.
Right.
Which is
And
fantastic.
as they're having this discussion, Spratt comes in with the nice little carving. And
On
I looked
a
at this-
tray.
yeah, exactly.
It was lost in the maze.
And when they were talking about it in the beginning and how tiny it was, and she's saying it, you know, when the Dowager was saying how many large things could fit in this pocket, or whatever it was.
Anything
could fit in
this
exactly.
pocket,
Anything could fit in. And when I saw it, and I went, "Wow, really? Okay." And then
thing
I
is
was really on the
tiny.
side of Isabel with like, "You care too much about things." Like, really? That's a thing.
How did you even notice it was missing?
Yeah,
with
but
all the stuff in that
True,
room?
but I'm sure the Dowager, it's the principle of the thing, and of course,
Yes.
but it just went missing or landed in the bucket, I should say.
Yes. Accidentally, while she was cleaning.
But she seems to not, you know,
Have a
she didn't
problem
seem to
with
go crazy on the maid or
Right,
whatever.
didn't think
at
anybody else
all.
could possibly have taken it.
Yeah,
It
it's just a
was
Peg
an
guy.
accident.
Of
It was
course.
only
Right.
it was only theft if Peg was involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But of course, you know, what was it? What's Isabel's line? And you would wrong. What was it? You were
How
wrong.
you must hate
How you
to
must
be
hate-
wrong.
Yeah, thank you for.
And Dowager.
And the Dowager says,
Yes.
well, I wouldn't know.
No, I'm not
familiar
familiar
with
with
the
that
sensation.
sensation.
Yeah. And again, I was thinking, you know, you could have just said, well, it's never happened or whatever. But no, of course, the way the Dowager says it would be this exactly.
Yes,
so,
I
and
need to
again-
hold on to that line for
and-
life.
Yeah, I know that. You know,
I'm
and then
not familiar with
the other one that I've
sensation.
used because just because of her, when somebody said, "I'll take that as a compliment," and she says, "I must have said it wrong." So I've actually used that 2 or 3 times since I've heard that.
You are funny. That is
and I want to use
wicked.
this one too.
I like this. I need a shirt that says.
Exactly. I wouldn't know. I'm not familiar with the sensation.
And that's the perfect way to put it. I'm not. It's not. I'm not familiar with the feeling. I'm not familiar with the sensation.
sensation.
Exactly.
It's such a perfect way of putting
no,
it.
No other person could get away with saying that.
Articulated.
No.
Love it.
Yeah. Oh my God. So anyway, let's carry this through because I want to finish it up. So, what you're gonna say?
And just the next thing, Isabel shows
my
up at the door.
God.
She watches.
Yeah.
She
No,
watches the
she's-
Dowager's
she's
car
sneaky.
go
Yeah.
away.
Sneaky.
I mean, exactly.
Hello, anybody here?
And this is where I'm going, okay, Isabel is back because, you know,
Yes.
before in the grieving in the morning, she would never take the time to do this, but now she's got, you know, she's got
Yeah.
something to champion.
cause.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, and here it is. She waits for the Dowager to leave. How underhanded and sneaky.
Yes.
You know.
And the little trip, you know, the
When
little
she
like.
Oh, yeah, the dizzy thing.
Oh, I'm dizzy.
Oh, heavens! I've got the
Yeah.
vapors.
I know. And Spratt falls for it.
Yes.
Falls for her, almost falling, and brings her in, and she rummages around and finds a little thing in the cushion, or near the side of the cushion, and there it is, boom. And just like a Cheshire cat, just can't wait. See, I told you. And then, and I thought that the last sequence when they brought the doctor in on
Was
this,
so great.
and it was interesting to see the doctor going up against her, and well, not really going against her, but just trying to be reasonable and rational, and her look was not.
She shot him a look.
Isabel
like,
was
"You're
not
on my
happy.
team."
That's right. What are you doing?
Aren't you courting me?
That's right.
I'm trying to.
Exactly. And you know what did you say last week? And there was a little rift there.
Yeah,
Right.
when he told her.
That was a bit harsh.
Yeah.
And Courtney speaks doctor, and he was.
He was
Yeah.
just trying to get her act together and to calm down.
Yeah.
I like that he's like her wrangler now.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
bit. He's taking a little control over some Isabel.
But of course, yeah.
Yeah. So you know when the letter opener was found
Yeah.
and given to Spratt, he says, "Well, she'll be very pleased. I hope she'll be pleased. I doubt she'll be pleased, or I'm not certain she will."
I hope she will.
And she wasn't. We didn't get to see this part of it, but we know that she wasn't. Obviously, but embarrassed enough and honored, or I should say, honorable enough
Yes.
to bring Peg back and send for him. I should say, bring him back, and he recounts everything, bootless, by the way.
Right. But that was funny.
It's like it was like Spratt. I had no, you know, because we don't know Spratt very well, but I had no idea he was such a stickler for
He
these
was
things.
like,
He wouldn't let the boots.
he's her Carson.
But yeah, it's true,
gonna
and we
let
don't
him
know
in.
how dirty those boots were.
True, he's working in the yard.
His boots may be dirty, but not his hands, because he did
That's
nothing to do with
correct.
this.
Nope.
And because she realized that, she brings him back. She gives him her job, and not only does she give him his job back, she apologizes.
Yes.
Which, you know, for somebody who doesn't know the sensation of being wrong, she certainly knows when she needs to atone for something.
For sure.
So, I just thought Isabel was kind of dumbfounded,
Shocked
shocked,
the
yeah,
hell out of her.
and kind of took all the wind out of her sails. Like she thought she had something to fight
had a
over.
big
and
fight
I was
ahead.
like, damn, I was gearing up for it, and she took it away from me. So,
Worked out beautifully.
But I think
Isabel's going to need to find a new cause.
I know, but it's nice to see that she's back, and I love that they were talking about at dinner, meaning Lord Grantham and the Dowager talking about it, and how he's not excited, but he's happy that she's finding something and finding herself again and coming back to them and stuff like that, and and of course the Dowager has the last word there too.
She's driven by indignation.
Yes, she runs on indignation as other people run on greed or whatever. So, and it's true. I mean,
indignation. How she said that word was just priceless.
For those who are listening and couldn't see the face that Tamara was making,
it was
very
attractive.
Yeah, very apropos. So, are they going to continue this fighting between the two? Or they, because I can't wait. I really want Cora's mother to show up because I do want, like Tamara, you were mentioning last week, we might have common enemy. I do want to see those forces together fighting for a cause because I like it when they get together and because they have differing ways of going about it. But it would be interesting those forces to join. Going up against
well, if they were defending one of their grandchildren, that would, because I would consider Isabel to be a grandmother in this situation as well. I mean, I know she is a grandmother, but she's also, a mother/grandmother to the girls. And so, I mean, I could easily see them coming together to defend one of the innocents of the family.
Yeah, that would be fun. It would be fun for them.
And boy, they would do that till blood came.
Yeah, I know. It would be great to see.
When Branson's ready to take baby Sivvy away.
Well, there you go.
Everybody will team up.
Well, speaking of that, let's get into that because you just mentioned her being a grandmother and stuff because obviously Isabel came to see her grandson, her George.
Oh, God, are we going to talk about that scene?
Yes, that's because that was the other side of it. So Isabel, she remembered because she was so concerned about Mary and being happy too fast with Lord Gillingham and stuff like that. But I'd like that we got to see those sides of her today, Isabel, because we got to see the indignation coming back and in full flare, so to speak, and we also got to see that other side of her. So she's certainly aware of it. She's still in grief. You don't avoid the grief. It happens, but.
It comes when it comes.
That scene when she came in there and she came to she came to see the grandson and stuff, but also she was talking to Mary about Lord Gillingham and not congratulating, but talking about the engagement to Mabel, and the line that Mary says, which is that she's not unhappy, but she's not ready to be happy. I mean. And they start to realize the commonality, and then Tom's there. They've all lost something. Yeah. And they find some sort of salve in that.
Well, it was so beautiful when she was saying, I was sick with love about her husband. And then, Mary says, me too. And then Tom says, me too. Yeah. And then that line chokes me up just to think about it. She says, aren't we the lucky ones?
Yes.
They got to have it.
Look at Tamara getting choked up.
It was incredibly sweet. And, it all depends on your perspective. Yeah, you consider that lucky or you can consider that incredibly tragic. I know,
because you could have laughed at that line, too. I mean, I thought about it, and there are people who weren't as aware of the sentimentality, but the sincerity of that could have laughed at that because they're talking about they've all lost.
They're all dead.
They're all dead.
Their loves are all dead.
And aren't we the lucky ones? And, and if you can't take it many different ways, but if you think about it, I was laughing and crying at the same because it is kind of funny, and if you can be morbid about it for a second, but it's better to have loved than lost than never to have loved at all. I mean, that's it right there, and the truth of it is that they were lucky to have the loves that they had. And to experience that so deeply.
Well, and I was glad that Mary brought back the moment where
the snow.
Because it was such a beautiful scene, and when she spoke it, the vision of it came back to me. So
that was shot.
It was beautiful. It was so beautiful, and it was just nice to relive that moment for a second there.
That was great. I'm going to go real quick, a slight detour. Last week I didn't really talk about it. I wanted to. They keep surprising me with different shots of Downton or the ground that I hadn't seen before. And this one not so much, but I since we didn't talk about it last week, I wanted to mention it. But I was so surprised by it in the last few episodes. It's like, I've never seen that angle of it. That's they must be driving themselves crazy trying to think of a different thing to shoot or a different angle.
Yeah, because it's significantly different from 1, 2, and 3.
Exactly.
It really is.
And that's why when you brought that up, that shot of the snow and the engagement, the proposal, I should say, and that reminded me, that's right, they used to take so much more time. And then in this episode, we had this shot, the Vermeer, as you were mentioning, between Anna and Bates with the light and everything like that. So they're still finding those ways to interest us visually as well as the stories and stuff like that. So I thought that was great to see.
Brilliant people.
Well, and we had the horse scene, with Mary and Gillingham. That was a beautiful when they were out riding and things like that. So there are definitely lots of those coming, and that's been fun. So are we going to talk about Napier next?
Yes, let's get into that next. So,
Okay,
because
so-
the other part of the Mary storyline is Mary and Tom is they're out on the grounds again, talking about the pigs? What kind of
Tamworth
pigs. Yeah,
They're
and
my
they have
pigs.
to speculate to accumulate, and they did a whole. And then a little talking about America again, and she's going to make. She says she'd make the introduction, and all that kind of stuff too. You know, not only Cora's mother, but the brother Harold, and I realized then it's the introduction to everything, because until then you can't get into that society, you know, especially if you're not of that society.
Truth.
So and so they still are in, you know, wonderful cahoots, even though it looks like, you know, Tom's going to leave, because he says I won't leave until it's done, until it's up and running and everything like that. And I'm going, geez, again, another force. I mean, those two together would be pretty, you know.
Tom and Mary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom and Mary together, because she's got such an ability that isn't hers. I mean, they make a good team in that way.
They very much do.
And I would like to see those
Why
together.
you can't leave?
And of course, then when we get Napier bringing in Blake, and by the way, okay, here's where you can talk about the Napier thing. Last week we forgot who Napier was, because it's been so long ago, and thank you for letting us know and writing in and telling us.
Yeah, it was pretty much like the minute we got off the air, we went, oh, gee.
That's who it is.
None of us knew.
You know,
we
I just,
forgot.
you know,
Between the
for
three of
my,
us,
I was
shameful.
delirious when I watched season 1. I was
yeah.
literally sick in bed watching
Yeah.
season 1, so that's my excuse. But anyway, yes, of course, Napier was one who brought Pamuk to
Because
Downton.
I only
The
remember Pamuk. I never remember
yeah,
Evelyn
that he brought
Napier, because I remember
someone,
Pamuk. I just forgot who brought
I
him.
do remember, because Evelyn is such an odd
Yeah.
name for a man
Yeah.
from an American standpoint. So it's, you know, I mean, that was just different. But anyway, then also someone pointed out, Penny pointed out to me that Tom can't go back to Ireland, because
Right.
I had said, why doesn't he just go back to Ireland?
Yes, he can't.
He can't go back to Ireland because Lord Grantham negotiated that deal with him. He would be arrested immediately. So really, America is kind of
only option.
the one
The only
place
option. If he
besides.
wants, and it is the one place where he could have a fresh start and not be worried about his past, or you know, make something of himself without having been tied to his history,
Find love
so to speak.
again.
So, but anyway, thank you for letting us, reminding us of those
Yes.
things and keep us honest. I appreciate that. But she has no love lost with this Blake guy, and she doesn't know him, so there's any love lost. But they are, well, they will not be fast friends. In fact, she goes on to call him a possible traitor or an enemy.
An enemy.
Yeah, because he finds out that they're not there to help.
Not at all.
They don't care.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
They just want to make sure everybody gets fed.
That's it. Yeah.
Can't really figure out what they're really, where this is going to go.
Well, yeah, we don't know the full scope of it yet, but I'm guessing the area is going to be that they're more interested in feeding their people, and
Right.
they don't care that they're not interested in what the landowners, how they're running it. They're really interested in the land and how they can use it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Some sort of
like
eminent
government
domain
land
kind of deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the way I got it is, I don't think they feel that they can sustain this way of living, this kind of caste
The
system.
aristocrats, yeah.
Exactly. They see the writing on the wall, and they're interested in moving on it.
Right.
And they
Buy the
don't
land
care.
cheap while it's being
Exactly.
foreclosed on,
Exactly. And I don't
Well, I
think
mean,
they care.
isn't it interesting that Napier is you know, providing the connection for Blake to Downton?
Yeah, but I mean,
you know, and so I mean, I'm sure there will be a question of whether or not
where his loyalties are.
Exactly, thank you.
Exactly, just like where Baxter's. But you know, but that's exactly what anybody else would do. If I was in the government and I said, okay, we're going to go, who do I know that's of this world? Okay, you're going to make the entree. Again, introduction is everything. So get the guy who's already familiar.
True.
The people all know him. He'll make the introduction.
True.
And it worked, because
They're staying at
Mary
the
is
house.
bringing him in.
house.
Come on over. Stay
Look at it
with
all.
us.
You can see how it all runs.
Now, I don't even know how much Napier knows about the end game. I don't know. You know, it'd be interesting.
Right, he
to
may
see.
not- he may not be
know the
privy
whole
to that
thing.
information.
Exactly, it's a need-to-know basis. But certainly Blake seems to know far more,
Yes.
I should say. And it does not look good. No, but I love the way that they're pitting the two of them together, meaning against each other. Mary and Blake, you know, they both don't like each other. And is this going to be one of those "I hate you, I love you" storylines?
Exactly. Mary and Matthew
'Cause he
weren't the best of friends to begin with.
Is he going to be a
they
suitor?
weren't.
Because Napier looks like he wanted, because the way he, you know, speaks
Greeted
of her.
her.
Very
Yes,
excited about her,
absolutely.
but-
And even the way he said, you know, he's okay if she takes charge of him.
Hey, but
So what's the deal? Is
Mary
this-
has gone for the other in the past,
Yeah,
so
that's
you never
right.
know.
But they certainly are at each other right now.
Throats.
Yeah, they're not, and you know, they speak of each other the same way as Napier points out.
Yes.
Right.
They both are. They don't think either one is well,
They're
of
both
their
very
standing.
entitled.
Yes.
They're both very entitled.
Yeah. So, is it? What do we think? I hate you, do I love you, or what?
God, I hope not. I really
I
hate that.
think so, though, because it was really intense at the end, especially when he brought up the fact that they both think the same of each other.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's where that's going. I kind of feel that.
It's like a Hepburn and Tracy movie.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to have
And
something.
he'll fall in love with her fire.
Bitter rivals until one of them slaps the other and then they kiss.
Because, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, and it better be her
I hate
slapping
you, I
him.
hate you, I love you.
Yeah, really.
Because I was thinking about it, and, you know, they can't really, you know, as much as Napier might like for it to happen, I mean, how would they get beyond the Pamuk thing?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I mean,
You
would
slept
she
with
ever?
my friend.
Yeah, and he died. Would they ever? You know, I mean, how would they?
That'd be weird.
How would they deal with that issue?
I'm just remembering last week's comment about Mary's death
Yeah.
Vagina.
blank.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you for bringing it back.
Anatomically correct.
It's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
It's funny. I can't help
So then
it.
she will get with the guy, and he'll die, and then he won't buy up all the land, and Downton will survive.
So each week we have a new suitor for her, or
Yes.
you know,
They keep doing
Practically.
it every
Gillingham.
week, yeah.
There was Napier. Now
That is
you know,
true.
a possible one with.
But then Gillingham is coming
Blake.
back.
Yeah,
Very
they'll have to.
previews,
Absolutely.
so-
Oh, good
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah,
That marriage may never happen.
Yeah. So the other part about this was the Tom part of it, because now that we've dealt with Mary, that's you know, because he says the whole thing about going to America, and then he's also the one thing that I thought was very poignant was that he says that I love them, but I'm not one of them. And he
Yes.
still feels that's the first
And it
time.
surprises him that he
Yeah.
loves them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised that he said it,
Yeah.
because I never. I mean, I certainly felt that he obviously loved Sybil, and then he was growing to love Mary and appreciating her and things like that, and they certainly developed a friendship. But I never really got, you know, that there was a connection beyond, you know, family, because I always felt like he was a little bit outside.
He recognizes that they gave him a home and made him
Yeah.
a part of it when they didn't have to do that.
That's true, and they certainly care for Sybil,
Yeah.
Sibby.
Sibby.
Yeah, so.
Baby Sibby.
But
And it was very, when he talked about, oh, you know, what am I going to do? I'm going to find, you know, somebody's daughter who's going to,
Right.
no.
Right.
Am I going to find, like,
Yeah.
I'll bring a good Irish girl, working
No.
girl back? Nope, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
in a
The
weird way.
focus on knowing that he wants to get married again, and
Yeah.
that would be something he couldn't do it there.
Because I actually never even thought about that,
Yeah.
because I always thought there was a future for him, because who better to take care of the
Yeah,
land?
I was just like, take care of the land. You don't need a woman.
But
Like-
I didn't even think about that part of it. But you know, there is no way he could have. What could? you know,
No.
but of course, now he says that, and we already know.
Yeah.
Something's coming.
Yeah,
coming down the pike.
That's right. So he's gonna be ready to go to America, and guess what?
Yes.
Nanny's gonna show up.
Yes. Although we were, you know, you and I were tweeting last week right after the episode, and we were getting tweets from listeners about, you know, Tom goes to America, meets up with Granny, you know, Cora's mom, and then pregnant Edith comes as well.
With the bastard child.
With the bastard child, has her bastard child in America. And, you know, there's just like the whole spin-off. We
Oh
could have
my
the
God,
entire
yeah.
spin-off happen in America.
Downton America.
Yeah, well, and let's not forget the other thing they talked about. The other name they brought up is Senator Fall, and is that one of the introductions they're going to make?
Yes,
You
it's
know, and Harold is somehow
coming.
connected to Senator Fall, what I think is a great name.
Yeah,
You know,
Senator Fall from Grace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or take the fall or whatever.
Or take the fall. Exactly.
So in the whole Teapot Dome. So we're going to see how that pans out. That's all I know. That's all they really talked about. They just said his name.
Yes.
And then of course, all right, what was that? You know, and we had to do our research on that one, since we got nailed on the whole Napier thing.
Have to make
So
sure. we
unless
Google
there's somebody
everybody.
else.
We do
So-
our best, people.
Exactly.
Can't remember everything.
Well, yeah. And sometimes we don't have time to research. We watch it
That's
and we
right.
come right
Do
in
the best
here.
we can.
All right. So anyway, so that's all we know of that. I mean, we can only assume that Harold in some way has had some ill dealings with Senator Fall, or maybe he's partly involved in the lease fiasco and leasing the oil rights or whatever, and all that other stuff, or how he's embroiled, we don't know.
We don't. But
But
we
it's the
do
right
know
timing for it. so.
Harold is played by Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti,
who's
yeah.
one of our favorites.
Love him.
So fantastic, so fabulous. And he, you know, I mean, he can play the, you know, straight dramatic character and the crazy, funny, you know,
Yeah.
son of Shirley MacLaine, for goodness sake.
And he also plays an incredibly oily, greasy bad
Horrible.
guy too.
No, so we have no
What a
idea
range.
where this character is going to go. It's going to be really
clue.
interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
So,
It'll be fun.
yes, this will be great.
And he's American.
I'm not exactly sure what that meant. You want to expand on that?
Well, just how the Dowagers are with the Americans.
Oh, that.
the
part.
Americans will.
exactly.
Crazy stepchildren, essentially.
We'll
Of
Yeah.
stir
the
her
Brits.
up.
So
Yeah.
it's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, I love how it needles her and gets under her skin.
Yeah.
That's always fun. So,
Yes.
All right. So speaking of getting under her skin, let's go to Alfred and Daisy.
Alfred and Daisy.
Yeah. Because and poor Alfred, well, not poor Alfred. I guess it's great for him, but
life is great.
just in the beginning, there was Daisy's trying so hard to make him soothe his defeat.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Giving him toast before Mr. Carson. Are you kidding?
What?
Why does he
What
get
a
special
social grace
treatment?
injustice! What the hell happened?
You got toast first.
Exactly. First that, and then a black man showing up at the end. What the hell's happening?
Shocking
Lordy.
going on in the servants'
God,
quarters.
Downton. Anyway, but let's stay with the toast for a second. She tries that, and then she invites him to help make whatever it was.
Sauce or something,
whatever the hell it was,
yeah.
And he's just not really
He's
part of
down.
it. Yeah, until he gets the post, and then he finds out he was fifth.
He was number
Number
five.
five.
Dun, dun, dun.
Jerky James.
Of course, Jimmy's snide and stupid, or whatever his remark
He's like,
was.
I never said you weren't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's lame.
But I thought Carson's report, that was great. Carson, I'm going, wow. First the toast, now Carson's making a comment like only stupid people are foolhardy. It's like, well, I thought, well, that was
Telling
a lack
it
of
like it
decorum.
is.
Well, yeah, absolutely, but usually there's a little bit more decorum in the
Yeah,
words he
right.
chooses. Stupid?
Stupid people.
Wow.
Looking
Jimmy, though.
right at you, Jimmy.
Jimmy was properly chided on
Yes,
that one.
he
I liked it.
was.
And okay, now, but I got it. No, let's stick with the Alfred thing first, then we'll get over to the other one. So he gets the thing. He's leaving. He wants to, he asked for Carson's permission, which again was just so odd. But that's when he had to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
That's really respectful.
Carson, he says that thing, and I think it's because Carson says that to Jimmy about being
Right.
foolhardy, that I think that prompts Alfred when he's in the room upstairs with everybody else.
right.
Don't you think that's why he said that?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure that was.
And then they're being all Cora and Mary, everybody being supportive. Come back and be a proper chef and all that other stuff, and then he says that line.
I want to make a speech.
Yeah,
effectively.
He says he's been well treated, and Carson's been very kind
And wonderful.
a wonderful teacher. Which I haven't seen any of that, but to maybe to Alfred he was, and I guess he could have it a lot worse for sure.
Yes.
But they did take him in because when he first came there, Carson didn't want to bring him in
Because he was too tall.
too tall,
He is very tall.
and Alfred has had his difficulty,
Yes, he wasn't
messing things up, and
the most graceful of persons.
exactly, and then they caught Mrs. Hughes caught them lounging, he and Jimmy lounging, and so he's
Yeah.
done.
Right.
They've been through
They
some
have
things.
brought him along, and I guess in a way they have been kind and certainly a wonderful teacher because Carson has taught him a lot of things. So, but anyway, it was a nice moment though because we don't normally get to see that kind of interaction between the downstairs and the upstairs.
Yeah.
So, and it seemed real genuine. And I thought for a second Alfred might start crying.
Crying.
Well, and Lord Grant
They were
calling
having
it
a
that,
Absolutely, and it was so a little too emotional for the Brits.
Right.
We're about
But a
The upper.
lovely moment.
It was.
A lovely moment.
It was, and good for him to say it. I thought this is why I like Alfred. He's goofy, he's klutzy, he's awkward, but there is a bravery about him. That's courageous to do that.
Yes.
Yes.
It was courageous for him to go to the Ritz and go to London and just try everything, and courageous for him to take the defeat, and courageous for him to say that
Right.
because it would have been much easier not to say anything.
Yes, it would have.
So anyway, I appreciate that.
So then he goes to say goodbye to Daisy. He says goodbye to everyone else.
He says goodbye to Ivy first, and she says, "I know you'll get what you want." And
He said, I don't usually do.
You do
but
because I don't. Yeah, and speaking to her, and she doesn't get it at all. Completely gets it. Does not get it. I should. Now, Tamara, please. He says goodbye to Daisy.
And she won't look at him.
No.
She's just, because she knows
She's
she'll
rolling.
burst into
Yeah,
tears.
she's just rolling out the door.
Rolling her pie. No.
Won't even look at him, and he says, I'm sorry I hurt you.
Yeah. Again.
It made me so sad.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. But she again. They have a moment there, which allows her the space to say
Yeah.
that I know
Yeah.
you'll do well.
And I
good
wish you
luck.
all the
want
best.
you
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the line he says too. The other part that I thought was so painful is that I know that you'll make some man happy.
Yeah, but it would
just
never
would
gonna
never be
be
me. I mean, it's such a backhanded compliment. I know he didn't mean it that way, but I mean, it just was. It's such an honest a frank thing to say, and
And then she picked up the rolling pin and hit him in the head.
No, but yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Get out! Get out!
But again, I'm going finally, because we were always talking where everybody's always dancing around,
Yes.
not really saying what's
The
honest and what's
truth,
true and what their feelings are. But the fact that he respected her enough and appreciated her enough to be honest, that honest with her, well, I thought, well, geez, he's treating you with such dignity. You should respond to that.
Yeah.
You should feel good about that.
Yeah.
She did.
She deserved that.
Yep.
So as much, and unfortunately it didn't work out because, people don't always love each other.
True.
Yeah.
But at least he was willing to say that, so that was great. Now, we counter that with the way Jimmy treated Ivy.
Oh
Then
my!
there was Jimmy on the bench outside in the forest.
Now, and I'm going, wait a minute, where did this come from? I didn't see this much of it. For me, this was a big leap from what I experienced Jimmy.
Me too.
Character-wise.
Me too.
I'm not saying it's, I just wish they would have taken a little bit more time to get there.
Right.
Because I didn't, this to me was just territory that we hadn't been here with.
Right.
Jimmy.
I mean, unless he was drinking or something,
Right.
which they didn't show. I mean, it seemed a little out of character.
And by no means do I think this guy's a gentleman or anything like that. But this was like, well, from kissing to boom, and he's trying.
Well, it didn't bother me as much because that the last time when Alfred caught them in the room together, the fact that he would do that in the midst of like working time and like try to get her outside in a room and quiet, like I was kind of like, yeah, okay, I could see that going. But I mean, he just went up her skirt. But
I know it's like, wow, the moonlight. Oh, the moonlight got down the butt. I'm going, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Like he went up.
I'm going, wow.
Can you like?
But good for Ivy for just whoa.
Like, what is this?
Exactly. Yeah.
And his jerk
away
comment.
Exactly.
I've been good to you, Ivy. Good to me. What?
Wait, isn't that how it's supposed to work? Wait, what did he do wrong there? I didn't get that. No, yeah, that was
You've been
terrible.
good to me, therefore you should get to go under my
And he's never had to do this with any other girl.
on the bed. Exactly. He's like, I've never had to do this with it this much with any other girl.
exactly.
It's like, what did you do? You took me on one
Right,
date.
I've done all these things and I've gotten nothing in return.
That's those kinds of things. I'm going, well, where is this coming from?
This is very harsh.
So, but maybe he's just okay.
He's a dirty.
Yeah, and I'm going, okay, we're gonna have somebody else in the in the Thomas category in terms of being underhanded,
Which is interesting because Thomas has no allies except Miss Faxon.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time that he gets a new one to cause some more trouble.
I mean, I used to like Jimmy a little bit, because he was just kind of fun-loving and stuff. But now I'm just going, well, what a schlub.
Yeah, he's coming off as a bit of a jackass these days. Yeah, because he just wants what he wants when he wants it. Not willing to work for it. Not willing to really do anything beyond take a girl out for 2 dates before she'll sleep with him.
Outside on a bench and outside. Like, could she at least get inside? What are you gonna do? Like, take it off on the bench?
Yeah, well, apparently.
Maybe he would.
Yeah.
You horrible.
Yeah.
So that was a little shocking.
Yeah.
Okay, not so shocking though is the way Carson responded to Mosley. They're all talking about Alfred is gone, Mosley's coming in, and
Wait.
Okay.
Ivy and Hughes and Mrs.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
I overstepped. Go ahead, Tamara. Take it.
So Ivy reports the
he was
impropriety by Jimmy, and
he was asking something no man should ask before
marriage. Yeah.
That was nice.
And then Daisy chews her out, which was fantastic.
Go Daisy.
And then Mrs.
And by the way, the look on Ava's like, she really doesn't get it at all.
What did I do?
Talking about I didn't do
What is that all
Just like she
about?
didn't get what Alfred had to say. She has no idea what Daisy said. It was like, what are you?
What is that all about? Mrs. Hughes says, I'd say it's about the fact that you had it coming, sister.
Yes.
You like that.
I loved it. Well, it was because it was, it was kind of like Carson calling out Jimmy. It was that same thing of Carson and Hughes and so many of these people are about like what is right.
Right.
She's sort of a moral compass for these people. Yeah. And normally she would be very, calm and civil and try and make sure all the feathers are unruffled. But in this case, she was like, no, you were wrong, girl.
But here's the thing: how can you? I don't think she was wrong, only because I don't think Ivy got it. I think she's way too naive. The way they've always painted her, she has no idea what anything is happening. She's from here. I don't think she really understood the subtleties between Alfred and Daisy. I don't think she got it to the degree that they're expecting her to understand it.
Speak, Courtney.
I don't think it was that unclear. I think it was...
And not to you or I, but I think to Ivy, I don't think she's the brightest
bulb. I don't think she's the brightest either, and I don't necessarily know that she knew the depths of Daisy's feelings for Alfred and how that was going, but I think she relished in the attention that Alfred was trying to give her.
Yeah.
I think if anything, that was more of what they were saying. You deserved it because you knew you didn't have any feelings for Alfred at all, and you kind of played along with it and played when it was fun and convenient for you.
I'm gonna agree with that, but I'm also gonna suggest that what she said was she was, I think, honestly paying a compliment to the honor of Alfred. So to get that kind of response when you said something good, I think she was like, what was that about?
Confused.
As opposed to thinking about the whole entirety of how she's been behaving.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. Anyway,
I can get behind that.
we got to move on to the next thing. Yeah. So Carson Mosley.
Yeah.
So of course Carson wants to have nothing to do with hiring this guy back.
Nope.
A, because but the biggest thing was he was unwilling.
He was unwilling. But now he comes back to confirm his willingness.
Absolutely. And I just thought that the scene there when he's hat in hand with Carson and Carson saying, "No, you have your pride, and I wouldn't want to diminish you in any way." He was handling that so deftly and just shutting the door on him. But of course, later on, Mrs. Hughes has a way of opening it.
I give up.
Yeah. Oh my God! All they had to do was get Mosley to come back and start serving the staff, and that's all Carson could handle.
Yes. He's like, "This is too much. Fine, you win.
But
I give in.
He'll give in on the job, but he won't give in on the gloves. You got to wear the gloves.
You got to wear the gloves, mister.
Yes, you will.
Again, Carson has his line.
Yes.
That's right.
Wow. So all right. So finally, we'll get Mosley back. So does that mean we're never going to see Alfred, or we won't see him for the rest of this series? Or what
Mosley's kind of special.
So,
well, Gillingham's coming back. We still want that hunting accident to happen. So there still might be a ballot available for Mosley to take.
I wonder, obviously they wanted to bring Mosley back in. Julian Fellows, for whatever reason, wanted to bring him in somehow. They must get a lot of traction. We need somebody else to do the ho-hum Eeyore glum role.
Exactly.
So we need them. Okay, so anyway, all right, so we're moving on. We got to get into Rose. Because the biggest,
inspired Rose.
Oh, Rose. She just can't help herself. Oh, no, I'm going to do something surprise.
Surprise.
And everything she does has got
Lord Grantham.
Yeah, everything she does is an ulterior motive.
Right.
And I'm sure it's from growing up with what's her name?
Yes.
We can't remember at the moment. I'm sure you'll let me know who that is.
Her mother.
Her mother, yes. But she always had to do something underhanded because she could never get away with anything, and she's still practicing that method here. And all so she can get Jack Ross and the band. And really Jack Ross. She just wants to get Jack Ross in
the house. And
I mean Jack Ross, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah. But I thought that great was so they go to the dinner and the reveal that it's Jack Ross, and the look on everybody's faces.
There's a black man in the house.
You got to give Lord Grantham. He did that great look, but then he said, "That's great. Come on, let's dance." So he tries to embrace it.
Fun.
But the one who doesn't embrace it is Edith.
Yes.
And for me, the great line for the Dowager about, look, try to have some of your time in London rub off on you a little.
Right.
And it was doing so well, but she can't.
So, but and I think the reason why Edith can, of course, is we find out that she's pregnant.
Because all that rubbed off on her too hard.
Yeah,
that would be why.
A little too much rubbing going on.
Too much rubbing happened.
Well, man, there was so much to cover. For me, this had so much story in this particular episode.
Yes.
Much more so than other ones. I'm going, my God, they're trying to cover so much territory. Yes, so many. Exactly. Moving the storyline.
Gregson might be dead.
Dead. We don't know where he is. Absolutely, she's pregnant and doesn't know what. Obviously, has no idea what she's going to do, and hiding it all with saying she's just concerned about where he is, but not telling anybody. Of course, she's going to have to say something soon because that's going to
be showing. Right, she's first trimester.
All right, look, we are running out of time, so we have to wrap it up. We got to get up to our news. So let's go to our news.
So first, let's see. Just a quick recap. One comment about Julian Fellows bringing a black character on the show.
Yes.
Poetic Justice 1000 said, "Oh my God, that moronic outburst." I don't think she speaks this way, but this is what I'm saying. Oh my God, that moronic outburst about why he wanted a black character in this series makes me not trust Julian Fellows as a writer. If he couldn't tell that what he said had been seen as the disingenuous dross that it is, I'm nervous about further Downton Abbey scripts to come. What decade is he living in? I guess even intelligent people can be stupid when it comes to the little matter of race.
Say what you really mean.
All right. Well, thank you for that.
And just a shout out, thank you to Bella Bambino 123. Okay, so here's some some news. I'll get through this as quickly as I can. Downton Abbey stars attended the show's charity ball for Childline at the Savoy Hotel on Friday. Everybody showed up, all fancy pants dressed. They raised £660,000 for Childline, which is a call-in and chat line for children and young people up to the age of 19 when they need someone to talk to. So £660,000 raised, and they had a lot of Downton Abbey themed, like silent auction things and that sort of thing. And it was really interesting. According to the Daily Mirror, Downton Abbey creator Julian Fellowes was forced to hire a bodyguard after killing off Matthew Crawley.
Wow.
Crazed American fans, of course, because that's the only kind there are. It's the crazy American.
Oh, the only one's stupid enough to threaten.
To think that it's true, right? They blamed Julian Fellowes for killing their favorite character in the Christmas special.
Jeez, what are they going to do about Anna? My God.
Well, although he had no choice because Dan Stevens
he didn't want to
quit. And he said he was afraid to go out without bodyguards.
Ooh,
wow. That's ridiculous. It reminds me of Breaking Bad with...
yes, with Anna Gunn.
Anna Gunn.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. People, it's a TV show.
It's not.
Stop getting so involved.
It's not real.
As much as... And we like to get involved.
Yeah,
seriously.
They're like involved to the point where that's their life. That's crazy.
I would just like to show a picture here.
What?
We have Jack Ross and Rose in a boat smooching.
Well, we already saw them smooching tonight, so now they're out in public.
But they are smooching in an idyllic riverboat ride. So they are going to continue their romance.
Okay.
If you'll remember, this character is based on a guy who is quite
the Lothario.
a lover.
Okay.
Quite a lover. Okay.
So
we might have two bastards at Downton.
That's what I was saying too. Yeah.
And one will be biracial.
You gonna do the last
very
one?
scandalous.
And here's my last and most favorite one. Raise a glass to Downton Abbey. There is now Downton Abbey wine coming out, which makes me very, very happy. I've already ordered mine. It's coming next week. I will bring it for the finale. Wow. There is a company called, oh crud, what are they called? Rock the Wine or something like that. Wines That Rock. It's a company that already produces wines that have a rock and roll theme, like they've done a Rolling Stone wine and a Pink Floyd wine. So they're taking wines that would have been drunk at the time in the 1900s, that sort of wine. So they're Bordeaux's, a white Bordeaux and a red Bordeaux. Okay. They're going to be sold in the U.S. and Canada starting November 1st, and in Europe and Australia after that. Available at wine.com, also DowntonAbbeyWine.com. Yeah. £9.28 per bottle, $14.99. I found it for $16.99 online. So there it is, Downton Abbey wine.
You so you have your nice glass of Bordeaux while you're watching Downton Abbey.
Absolutely, and I will be.
And where's the Downton Abbey tea? I mean, you'd figure they'd have that too.
Oh, that's true.
So, but anyway, all right.
There you go.
So those are great news. All right, predictions. Anything? Anybody?
Oh, good Lord.
Now, you're AfterBuzz.
A pregnant.
She's gonna keep it?
Rose.
No, they're not gonna do two. Really?
No, they couldn't give us that much in one season. We'll die.
Well, we have 2 episodes left. Is that right? 6, 7, 8, 9.
No, 7 and 8, and then the Christmas. So there's 3.
So there's 3.
2, and then the 3. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know, the unfortunate hunting accident.
Well, okay, I don't know how far-fetched this is. Because of the way they treat Edith, I think she'll lose the baby.
Oh, because she's poor Edith.
Yes.
Oh, God, John.
So she'll reveal it to everyone. There'll all be mixed feelings about it. They'll be conflicted about whether or not, and then she'll lose the baby.
Well, I mean, they never give her any kind of happiness. So, I mean,
Well, how would they deal with a bastard child?
I don't know.
I mean, like a true bastard child, because I know they were calling Sibby a bastard child.
Yeah, exactly.
Or motherless or whatever she was.
That's just, I'm just saying.
Very depressing.
It is depressing. But they never give her. I mean, they barely give her any kind of
But there's just so much story to be had with the bastard child.
Right. Well, okay. Right. So we've got Gillingham coming back.
Yeah.
I think that, I'm conflicted about this. I think next week we're going to have some more conflict, but we will not have the unfortunate hunting accident.
No, that's not going to happen. No, they'll wait till the finale.
It's going to be
maybe it all gets found out
revenge.
next week.
Mary is definitely going to be involved in it. I'm certain about that.
Next week.
Well, I hope Cora finds out too, because the way she was talking to Mary, if she finds it, that's going to be
if
great.
Mary knows, Cora will definitely know.
Yeah,
but there is a thing about I sort of don't want them to find out, especially Cora, because Cora will want to take it through the legal proper process.
I don't know, not on something like this.
And there needs to be an unfortunate hunting accident. I'm telling you.
I think if she finds out, I don't think she's going to care about legality.
Yeah, maybe
we got to get on. Where can they find you?
Twitter. Instagram, Stewart Starlet.
Okay, Courtney Stewart can be where?
Stewart Starlet.
Stewart Starlet on Twitter.
There you go.
Okay, you can find me at Tamara Berg, TamaraBerg on Twitter. Also, my website is tamaracentral.com.
And you can only find me here. So thanks for keeping those comments coming. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Glass of wine.
Glass of wine.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.